back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We had some fun last week. I always tell folks the Maryland Lottery presents the Crab Cake Tour, of course, in conjunction with our friends at Goodwill Industries, and some more sponsors to be named later. And all of our sponsors participate. On Friday, we had Bill Cole come out and have some big old crab cakes with Pete, and Pete's doing crab melt, and we're talking old school, what's going on North Point Boulevard. Incredible story about his father coming over from Greece. My pal Rob Santoni came by from Wise Markets, and Patty won $100 from the lottery. We're eating crab cakes, having a good time, but we started the party by watching Delaware try to slay the giant of Villanova. After St. Peter's does their thing, Leonard Raskin was all ebullient off of an Ohio State Buckeye victory. And then, 48 hours later, we want to talk about Ohio State women's hockey, right, Leonard?
Hey,
how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. And that was a blast on Friday. Costas was excellent. The service was fantastic. The food was great. Did a little broiled and fried crab cake. I would go with the broiled if I had to get two at a time going forward. They had some big crabs laying around on the table. They
really
delicious.
did. I saw the crabs come in. When I got there, I was going to take crabs home to my wife. I wound up getting corned beef and cabbage and bringing that home because we didn't really do that on St. Patrick's. We did it the week before. Big shout out to Patrick's North, or Cooper's North, Patrick Russell's place. I had incredible corned beef there. So shout out to them. And Andy, who waited on me at the bar, was my old sponsor down at Shuckers. I would say this, I got that and I ate it. It was too much. I took half home. And then he brings out the crab cakes as big as my head, right? I took one of those home and ate it last night and split it with my wife. She's like, it's the biggest crab cake I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, he didn't really serve them all that, but he brought the big ones out and the crab melts and all that stuff. So like we ate pretty well, but what happened was I took too much food home to get the crabs. My wife's like, we'll get crabs next time. I'm like, but they look good. They look really good. Like I want to have them,
Yeah, I'm with you. So it was good food. We were cheering on Delaware, trying to beat Villanova. Guess what? That didn't happen. And then the Buckeyes gave it their what we say, best college try, right? Their best college try against number 2 Villanova. They couldn't do it. So they're done. The women play on Monday night. So we'll see if the women can hold up their end of the bargain better than the men. But over the weekend, the women hockey players, for the first time in history, won the women's Frozen Four final and are the national champions for hockey. So they're bringing something home to the campus this week, which is wonderful. And also the pistol team, the pistol shooting team, is like in the finals of, I didn't even know that was a sport at college.
No, don't they have a different name for that? Isn't that
it's prison, something to do with prison. No, but this is like range shooting things and stuff, and they're in the finals of the pistol NCAA tournament, something. So good for them. In the meantime, boy, the NCAA tournament was full of upsets, and I think it was after Friday night, I think there were 700 brackets left in ESPN's, I don't know, 20, 30 million applicants that were still good. And after the weekend, obviously, none of the women's, none of the men's, nobody can pick these games. So relating to my world, Raskin Global, money, finance, investing, your future, man, if nothing else, nobody can predict the future. Stop trying to pick stocks based on what you don't know, because you can't even pick a weekend of basketball where the favorites
you can't even get Kentucky right. You can't even get Kentucky right.
Overwhelming. And there's the what's that school? Did you hear the story of them for the weekend?
Oh, St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. So they're out of Jersey, right?
Yeah, 15. Well, the coach had the best line ever. He's like, my kids grew up in New York and New Jersey. Like, wait, come on, it's a basketball.
They don't care. Right.
My guys are tough,
The story, they win the first game against Kentucky. They have no fans, no cheerleaders, no band, no nothing. They're going on to the second round. And they put out this call, and on, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, whenever they played their second game, like the world rose up and raised money for their cheer squad to get there. They did a bus, like 12 hours on a bus to get to the game to cheer for their team in game 2. And they're on to the Sweet 16. And they got a shot to win another one. they got a shot. I mean, my goodness. And the Big Ten looks terrible except for Purdue and Michigan. And the ACC is like throwing down wins. So
by the
who
way,
knows?
so you Mr. Ohio State, Mr. Buckeye. Wait, by the way, Leonard Raskin here from Raskin Global. He joined us on at the Crab Cake Tour. We mainly talked about Epcot, which was like a phenomenal. I love that conversation. You took your boy there instead of doing basketball related. It still did basketball related activities with your son, had fine crab cakes to take home to your wife and son too, as well. The Deshaun Watson thing with the Browns.
Oh my goodness!
Now listen, it's not. Dare I say, not just the sexual assault allegations, not the one or two, the 2 dozen, all of that. But Luke and I spent an inordinate amount of time this week discussing the ramifications of guaranteed money in the NFL. And I know as baseball comes back to post, and I know you're such a hockey fan, and guaranteed contracts. That's the part of this where you say, is this good business for the Cleveland Browns? Boy, it feels like the decision that bad franchises make, certainly with each other. These are two dreadful franchises with ownership that have all sorts of problems. And now the Browns are going to have this quarterback with this guaranteed contract. It's kind of amazing, really.
It is. I mean, I got to say, Baker Mayfield must be really bad in the locker room if you're ditching him for the guy that's got 23 sexual assault allegations. Now, granted, the grand jury decided not to prosecute, but that doesn't mean 23 women aren't going to try to make money out of this. And I don't know what the allegations, true, false, whatever. But given this guy, did they give him $250,000 guaranteed or something?
Billion. 230
I'm sorry, 230 million. Right. Yeah, absolutely. What the heck are they thinking? They gave away draft picks and they gave away this and that. And
they're thinking desperation, right? Desperation makes a poor investor, right?
They're the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if you know who Art Laffer is. Art Laffer?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Okay. So Art Laffer, I've met him a number of times. He's on the academic board at Matson Money, one of the firms we use for client investment. And he has a line that says, I think it's when you're under pressure or drunk, you shouldn't make decisions, because they end up bad. And I don't know what the heck Cleveland's thinking. The only thing I can say is they're the Cleveland Browns, because to me, that's just stupid. It's just plain stupid. And on the other side,
you're not that desperate because you have a functional quarterback that you told everybody you believe in, and then you bad talk him, and he's going to go, be the Colts quarterback or the Lions, somebody, right? He's going to have a job. And I'm no Baker Mayfield apologist. I mean, the commercials, all that's a little over the top. He wouldn't be my quarterback.
Right.
He wouldn't have been my pick. But if he were my guy, I wouldn't necessarily mortgage the future picks of the franchise as well as that kind of money into a guy who I'd at least would have talked to the 2 dozen women and brought them in and said,
here's
what?
The football thing. Let's talk about the football side of it. My opinion, and I could be wrong. I was listening to the talking heads a little bit after the deal went down. They talk about Watson like he's the second coming of quarterbacks. I didn't think he was all that great. I mean, he's good. He's a top tier quarterback, but I didn't think he was in the rarefied air of greatest quarterbacks of the decade or of his time. And they're talking about him like he's going to be the quarterback for Cleveland for the next 10 years and bring him Super Bowls. And I'm thinking, am I seeing the same guy? Is that the guy that we played and just destroyed and sacked and had him running around, chasing his tail and throwing interceptions and playing bad football? And I don't know if that's the team he played for or what, but he didn't look all that to me. And then the last thing I say on this subject on the other side is, boy, Lamar Jackson's got to be licking his chops. If this guy gets 230 million guaranteed, I'm getting $500 million, baby. It's coming.
Price just went up. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Like the market
better be coming soon. Right. Supply and demand dictate prices, and all the known and knowable information is in the stock price. Well, guess what? Only new and unpredictable information changes the market. Well, some new and unknowable information just changed his market. That's called Deshaun Watson. And that's called, I want $500 million guaranteed, baby.
Leonard Raskin is here. He's talking about your money, my money, their money, everybody's money at Raskin Global. Of course, tell everybody what you do. Give them the elevator speech on what you do.
What we do is we do our best. We do our best to help you achieve your American dream. We help you from budgeting to protecting your wealth, everything, how you insure it, how you invest it, how you enjoy it. Most importantly, how you enjoy it.
Well, we talked about
And
that
then how
last
you,
week at Costas,
absolutely. And then how you pass it on, how you make sure that you don't make mistakes. You don't listen to the government. You don't listen to financial institutions. You understand the economics of how money works, and we help you understand those things. And as a result, make great decisions for your future, for your family, for your finances, so you can have what you want, your American dream. Do the things you love to do. We hope to get you wherever you want to go, better, stronger, faster, safer than you thought possible, take you further than you thought possible, and help you understand things in a different light, and then help you implement great solutions to be able to go to Disney, or be able to go to the Final Four, or be able to go to a Super Bowl and not have to think and worry about, am I going to have enough money at the end of the month, or when I retire to educate my kids? We help you do all those things and more and more and more. And we eat great crab cakes, and we go to Broadway shows.
Dude, wait, listen, before we get to Dear Evan Hansen, and we will get to that because you both saw it over the weekend. The last thing I have for you on money, because you're the money guy around here, and I lead you in that direction. You know, when I worked at the paper back in the 80s, I remember at one point not having any interest in the business of sports, right? Like I was more into baseball card collecting, but then I started reporting on it, and the Skipjacks left me, and the Blasts were sold, and the Colts left me, and the Orioles might leave me, and we need to build a ballpark, and how do we chase an NFL team and bring it? So all of that was a part of my childhood where, like, people say, take the politics out of sport. Well, they start with the national anthem and they have a flyover, and people are from different cultures. So you can't take it out. You can't divorce it. The business part of this thing, and you being a Buckeyes fan is all, I don't want to say for show, but it's new. Your kid goes there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were a Maryland guy for,
no question. 40 years,
so
45 years.
So we have fun with this in the Big Ten thing. But Maryland now, literally while we're doing this segment, I got my Coons Ford text from WNST and Luke, and it's official now. They're hiring a guy from Seton Hall. Okay, well, the amount of money that the university needs to make this viable, everything here is a business decision, right? And the Maryland Terps, from a basketball perspective, just made the biggest business decision they're going to make in hiring a new coach, going a different direction, all these things.
Yeah.
This is a fascinating time for the university, right? And for what they're trying to do to get your money back after the boy comes back from Ohio State and you wants to go to games. Maybe you'll put the old Maryland hat back on, put the turtle back on, if there's something there to be proud of.
Right. And I think this is a shocking hire. I think they needed a wow. And I think this is a whoa. Okay. Now, I could be wrong. This guy could be amazing. He could bleed turtle, he could be it. But when I was at the 20th anniversary banquet party for the 20th anniversary NCAA championship winning Terps team, Gary Williams was there. All the players were there.
Just a couple weeks ago. This is just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And Gary spoke about what the university has to do to bring excitement back, to bring the fans back, to bring the team back, to get things back to where they were. They don't have to win a championship every year, of course, but they got to be in sync, and they got to find the right basketball guy. And I thought they were going to find Juan Dixon, although he might not be ready. But finding the guy out of Seton Hall, who, in my opinion, and again, they found something they chose, they love. But like I said about Deshaun Watson, not the same character person, but the talent pool of coaches, young coaches, up and coming coaches that seem to be doing their thing and go. And this guy at Seton Hall, he's got I don't know, does he have a 500 winning percentage while he's been there? I don't know. Is he a great recruiter? Seton Hall doesn't seem to be that great. They've made it to the tournament. They've never won a game, or maybe they've won one game. He seems very average. And if they want to wow the fan base and get people to start giving tens of thousands of dollars to the Terrapin Club, I don't know if he's the guy that's going to do that. Now, let's face it, winning cures all ills. So if he comes in and he can recruit and he can win, and they can get to the tournament and they can win a game or three, then that's great. Then maybe they pick the right guy. But I don't know who's making these selections and what they're thinking about. I look at the school, and I look at the football program. They brought in what I think is a great coach. He's got a good staff. He's brought in some great players. He's motivating the kids. They're starting to look. Football in the Big Ten is way tougher than basketball in the Big Ten, even though basketball's notched up a bit. But football, they started to turn that corner and at least be competitive and play well and make their fans happy. But this guy, it just doesn't excite me as wow, look what they did. I mean,
Yeah,
my goodness.
I got nobody wowing it, but maybe that's not the point of winning the press conference. The guy's a basketball coach. He's done this a long time. He's done it on the East Coast. And I know Mike Bray. There's a lot of talk about all that stuff. Listen, you and I got a Broadway conversation the other day, and we talked about going to see Dear Evan Hansen. We actually talked about your wife and you being a ticket holder and wanting to go back downtown and be a part. We went to Amici's for dinner on Saturday night. I still got a couple meatballs and some rigatoni bolognese downstairs, as a matter of fact. I love my experience. Parking going in, the crowd, the masks, the drinks, the running to the bathroom, the ding, 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 the lights going out. My halftime, we go to get a water, and it's a big pile of people, and we got to pee and do all that stuff. And the ding, ding, ding goes. My wife and I are on the second floor. We're running down the stairs, and my wife's like, nothing that gets action like a deadline, huh?
There you go. And they put in that program a 15-minute intermission, and they ding that bell after 5. I know, because we were watching. There was something going on there. They were I don't know what that was at our show. It was a 15-minute intermission, ding the bell at 5. We were out having a drink, wife's chugging a Chardonnay.
Well, it's hard to get 1,800 people to pee all in 15 minutes, right?
That's right.
Literally.
That's right. It was tough, but
and you have to pee. I mean, especially if you have to go, you have to go. Yeah,
you can't go during the show. You miss it. You miss something. But that was an interesting show. I've seen a lot of Broadway shows in my day. I mean, a lot. And as I left the show, I thought to myself, and for those that haven't seen it, I don't want to give away the whole story, but I thought to myself, a very 2020 kind of show, very social media centric Reason kind of show. I thought the plot was twisted. I thought the premise was fine, but it was just silly.
I thought it was Three's Company.
Yeah,
I thought it was a situation thing that, not to make light of the topicality, because
at all.
It's a heavy topic, but I thought it was too,
contrived.
three companies.
To me, it felt contrived. The story felt contrived. The performance, I thought, was excellent. The singing, the show was excellent, but the story didn't.
The woman that played the kid's mother, and I don't know who's understudies and who's overstudies, and what cast you saw and what cast I saw. So I wouldn't even I'm assuming we saw the same show and the same people.
Sure.
But she was amazing. The mother, I thought playing that role was a very difficult thing.
Which kid's mother? Evan Hansen's mother.
Evan Hansen's mother at the end of the show. I thought that
she was pretty amazing.
Difficult role, and she did a great.
She was amazing.
But I'm with you for all the hype that came with it, and I see why it's popular because of the modernness of it. It isn't West Side Story. It is a very modern.
It's a new show. That's exactly right. It's a new show. It's got all the 2020 situation. And I don't know, again, when you were there, but when we were there, a lot of teenage, young 20, 30 in the crowd. They're drawn to this show. They've heard about it. They're drawn to this show. And I think that's a big thing. That's a big thing. And one of the things I think perhaps, like I'm pontificating on quarterbacks and head coaches this morning, I would pontificate that you and I might not be the demographic this show was aimed at.
Oh, no, I think it's fine because you're a parent of a young person. I disagree with that.
Yes, but a lot of young crowd. We don't go to a lot of shows and see a lot of 20 and 30 somethings in the Hippodrome. This was overwhelmingly a younger crowd. And
that's
I think
a beautiful thing for you to say that, because that's really important for their business, right?
Absolutely. And it's because of, I think, what you said. This isn't West Side Story. This isn't Annie. This isn't Tootsie. This isn't The Phantom or Les Mis. This is a new, up-to-date, show. So,
but it's also a heavy thing where your wife's in there crying. I didn't cry. I didn't get emotionally invested in it, which really disappointed me because of the Three's. I keep calling it the Three's Company thing. The awkward situation, far-fetched sort of. Take the premise and take it down into the rabbit hole 5 different times, and have all sorts of misconstrued meaning and white lies that become something that's trying to make somebody feel good and start to lie and go down that road of not saving face to never. It was a saving face thing, right? Like literally, life is a saving face thing. It's all about ego, right? But I would say for me,
Yeah, you don't want to
that,
look bad.
I lost it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
you don't want to
lost
look
me
bad.
in that way. It was a nice show, but it lost my emotion.
Right.
My emotion
Like I
wasn't
said,
invested.
I thought the performance was great. I thought the show was average.
By the way, we're doing Oscars talk all week. Don Moeller, listen, I don't see movies, and
Me neither.
I did an hour and 10 minutes with Alan and Max and Don on movies. My wife's like, how do you do an hour and 10 minutes? I said I had to break it into 2 segments. You never see movies. I'm like, that's what made it interesting. What made it interesting to me was I was looking for a movie or two to find to watch out of Belfast and Don't Look Up and all these movies that I haven't seen any of them. So I would say to you, we had a little conversation about Dear Evan Hansen in there with them not trying to give it away. Although Moeller, the baseball glove and the oil, boy, that might have been the worst scene in the whole
Oh my
thing.
goodness.
Like there was
Very
just
weird.
some it was weird.
Weird. Like I said, I thought it was contrived.
Leonard, I'm going to get everybody out to see you at Raskin Global. And, of course, Leonard and I had a beautiful conversation about Epcot over at Costas. I'm sorry, this conversation, not all my conversations come with crab cakes. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Hey, we'll do it with Fruit Loops. We'll do a Fruit Loops conversation. It's breakfast of champions.
Why not Apple Jacks or Captain Crunch?
There
I don't know.
There you go. I'm with
Leonard
you on all
Raskin
of it.
can be found at Raskin Global as well as on the front of BaltimorePositive.com. We're getting the Maryland Crab Cake Tour back out on the road. We're at Fadley's this week on Wednesday, and then I'm putting the whole roster into April. I have a confirmation from Greenmount Station, confirmation from the Chaucer in Highlandtown, and also, very importantly, Andy, who's just reopened his place from Highlandtown, now out in White Marsh at G&A Coney Island Hot Dog. My wife and I had breakfast there Sunday. We're doing the Crab Cake Tour there in April. So we're getting out to White Marsh, getting all around the place. I'm negotiating in Timonium right now. I'll get you a date on that a little later on, Leonard. I am Nestor. He is Leonard. We are WNST AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore positive.